Let's get it. As one Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving your perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. Whew. No, it seems like I should be excited seeing that. Recording this November 6, 2024. Official. Donald Trump wins. He's officially the 47th president, currently the president-elect of the United States, and he was the one that I picked. He's the one that I've publicly endorsed. But I'm not, I'm not at all. There's an exciting feeling because of, obviously you're happy to see the candidate that you picked win. However, I'm torn because of the way the race played out, right? Because of everything that happened on both sides. And I'm not blaming Trump, nor am I blaming Harris. I'm blaming what these adults, these so-called leaders have done to get to this point, have done to get to this race, and the way the public feeds into it, and the results of all of these things, regardless of who wins, you're not, like I was telling you yesterday, the progress is not going to be there unless you decide, unless you listening to me right now, decide to start making something of your life, until you decide to start taking advantage of this unbelievable opportunity that we have to live in the United States. That's the truth, regardless of who's in office. All right. And I'll dive deeper into all this a little about an hour from now on the live stream, tackling turnover with teamwork. I'll dive into it. So I have a whole hour-long show ready to go, react to this whole thing. But what I will say, just in regards to my quick thoughts, a quick summary of a quick reaction to Trump winning by a landslide, by the way, is at the end of the day, he was the right guy. He was the right person. He was the right person for this specific position. He was the right candidate for the job. I mean, the amount of things that fall onto a president's lap, the amount of things that you have to do, the amount of people that you have to represent, when you look at everything that he had to live through publicly. I mean, you're talking about a man who had all the money in the world. He could have retired. He could have went somewhere and just did him. Just said, fuck it. I'm done. I'm done with the attacks. No one had any racist, nothing to say about, nothing negative to say about him until he decided to take it upon himself as a public servant of this country and say, I want to do something because it's coming from the goodness of my heart. And all of a sudden, at that point, he starts getting attacked. He starts getting, there's charges coming up. Now he's a felon. Now he's a racist. Now he's Hitler. Now you have entire campaigns built just to stop him. I mean, the Harris team, and this is why I hate to, put it on one person, because I don't believe that it's just Harris doing this. I believe it's a party who got to the point where they got so desperate, they had this high in 08 with Obama, and it got to the point where they started to insult intelligence. They started to insult the intelligence of people and tries to bring out a bunch of washed up celebrities to try to get people who don't really pay attention to politics. Politics ain't their lane, and you try to get them to use them to convince a lot of uneducated voters to vote when they don't know what they're talking about. You had people, again, online, you could see it. You can see the writing on the wall day after day after day, where there was a lot of uneducated people. When I say uneducated, I don't mean stupid. I mean just uneducated in regards to how policy works, how Congress works, what it works to actually get to that position, and how she was never voted in to that position in the first place. She was a face that they thought they could just use the face. They thought they could just use her identity. They thought they could just use her gender. They thought they could just use her ethnicity, and said, okay, we're going to try to, pull in a bunch of votes and just get back into the office and then figure out how to deal with it later. It was all semantics. It was all just, look, I want to just put the face there. And at the end of the day, the right person won the job. And again, here's my hope, and here's my prayers, that people recognize how he did it. And it wasn't anything you can't do. And this is what I'm going to dive deeper into later on in the live stream, is it's nothing you cannot do. You yourself can pull out a phone just like I'm doing. You can get on your laptop, you can go on the internet, and you can go create opportunities for yourself if you're just talking from the heart. I mean, again, I'll close out with just these two examples, because as I was kind of listening to some of the commentary and how both sides fared, it was, first of all, what lost Harris the campaign was when she went on The View. platform for her that's been very generous to her, very anti-Trump, very, kind, would never say anything negative about Kamala at all. When she went on The View and got asked a very simple question, is there anything you would do different? And immediately this was a natural response from her, all right? Out of the blue, she goes, there's nothing that comes to mind. So how can you say you have a new way of leadership and you, in your own words, authentically and honest answer that you gave, and you said there's nothing that comes to mind, all right? And then the flip side of it, you had Trump, who was willing to sit for 3 hours on a Joe Rogan podcast and just have people get to know him. And then we have already known him. There wasn't any celebrities and all that kind of stuff. That wasn't what he was running on. It was all your business owners, Elon Musk, the people that actually provide jobs, not the ones who just take your money, right? Not the ones like the Beyoncés of the world and the Ushers of the world, the people who are taking your money to come watch their shows and Taylor Swifts of the world. No, these are actual job creators. So the best candidate won. Period, point blank, end of sentence, all right? We'll get more into this. We'll get more into this in about an hour. I'll have a whole live stream set up and, we'll dive deeper into this. There's a couple angry comments I got to get to as well that I'll be, reading out loud and all that kind of stuff. So just stay tuned. The main website to check out to dive deeper into all my work, it's makeyourmove.com. That's MAKEYAMOVE.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. As one Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.